We've had a lot of rain lately, and the river out there right now, as you can tell, is just straight mud. I've been fishing a lot on Smith Lake all winter long, catching them out of muddy water, and so I thought, hey, this is a good topic. Pretty much all the lakes probably in Georgia, and I know the Coosa, Smith Lake, they're all got some stained muddy water. And the great thing about how it's been the last few weeks is the water temperature. The water temperature is the most important thing when you're faced with muddy water conditions. And a lot of times of the year, like summer and fall, water temps are really not that big of a deal. Like if it's 80 degrees or 85 degrees, or if it's, it does matter more in the spring and the winter. But like I said, the great thing about the last few weeks is it's been warm. It's been unseasonably warm, and that really is prime time to catch fish out of muddy water. I fished a tournament yesterday on Smith Lake. I've been fishing out there a lot lately, and the water temp was 57, which for a lot of y'all know that's really warm for this time of year. Normally it's about 45 to like 43. I mean, it's going to get down, but when the water is in that 55 to 50, or even low 50s, 53 and 55, and it's muddy, it's really the best time to catch fish shallow, in the spring and in the winter time like we have right now. It does a few things when you get that mud. It's going to put fish around targets. It's going to put them in that depth zone that where they're going to be. They're either going to be there or you're not going to catch them. I mean, when I say 0 to 4 foot, I mean 0 foot, like right on the bank, and that's where they're going to hang. I was talking to a young man earlier. I think he's sitting right over there. He did really good. He won a tournament yesterday out here on Neely, and caught him in the grass real shallow, and I believe it because it's prime time. When it's 55 degrees, you're fishing right on the bank. You don't have to worry about, they're going to be on a point, or they're going to be out deep on a hump, or which they can be in the wintertime. But when it's muddy, hey, I'm going to be beating the bank. This is not easy fishing, but it is. You can take all that other stuff and just know, hey, I'm going to focus on grass, I'm going to focus on rock, I'm going to focus on wood, whatever this lake has to offer, whether it's a lake like Smith or Martin or Wedowee, or if it's like, the Coosa River, you got a lot more grass, so you're going to typically, focus in on that thick grass, and, somewhere that bass is going to move up and get around, a thick piece of cover, like a piece of grass or, a mat. But the water temp, you can go back one if you want. No, this is the same slide. I still can't see. The water temp, and when it starts to, come down a little bit, well, how do you catch them then? Today, tomorrow, the next day, it's going to get cold, and that water temp is going to drop considerably. It's probably going to go from that mid-50s, and it's going to go down in the 40s and even to the mid-40s, and the fishing is going to get tougher. And you have to change your baits. You got to change the action in your baits. You got to change what you do. But when it's still muddy, they're going to still be in that depth zone. It's not going to be as good. You're not going to catch as many fish, but you can still catch some big ones, and you can still have really good success fishing in muddy water. And I remember a few years ago we were on Grand Lake, and that water up there is muddy. It just stays muddy. And it was in the Classic, and it was cold, and it was tough. I think it was 42 degrees the first couple days of practice. And when it gets that cold, that's not really my strength. I mean, I struggle when it gets that cold. But I remember Bill Lowen did really good, and I always try to learn something. Even from my toughest tournaments I've had, like, I always try to pick up on something in that tournament to help me, you know, going forward. And I remember Bill Lowen said I was looking for the muddiest water I could find, because I knew those fish were going to be in that strike zone. They were going to be in that depth zone from, you know, 0 to 3 foot. You know, a lot of times I see anglers kind of shy away from that dirty water just because it can be kind of intimidating. I mean, when you can't see, you know, your bait.
It's Mike Iaconelli. This is Bass U TV.
Here's what's awesome about Bass U TV.
You get the top instructors.
Real tools that help you catch more fish consistently.
And that's why you want to check out Bass U TV.
Join the Bass U family.
Welcome to Bass U TV.